So I loved being an electrician. Back then, though, we were very limited in what we were allowed to do as ladies, but I did enjoy being an electrician's mate, very much so. A submarine tenders just truly tends the submarine. So the idea behind them is that anything the submarine needs, we deliver. I went to the command master chief, who happened to be an electrician's mate by training as well, and I said to him, listen, I need to learn my rate. I want to go to the engine room. And he said, now mind you, this is 1989-ish, he said there will not be any females in his engineering room. You know, if I don't get down there, I won't be able to practice the skills I needed. And so there was no budging on that decision. So I actually ended up in the deck department, and all the traveling cranes on the ship were my responsibility. I was a second class. And so I had 13 males that worked for me. And I didn't know anything about these cranes. I just knew that my job to facilitate making sure they were operational. Those cranes provided the food. Those cranes, we had two certain cranes responsible for missiles. And so in my first 60 days, I could never find the guys. I would give them their assignments for the day, the preventive maintenance, and then they'd disappear. I said to one of the chiefs, I said, Chief, I think they're skating out on me. I don't see them all day. They can't be doing the maintenance. And she said, I can't say all the words she said, but they're in their berthing. She says, get your butt down there and get them. Banged on the door and said, female on board, swung the door open. There was a couple of guys playing cards. These other guys relaxing. And there was one sailor who was sleeping. And I said, nope, y'all are good. Because they were shocked that I did that. I said, stay right here. We'll start our day at 16:30. And we started the day at 16:30. And from that day forward, they realized that I'm not going to tolerate. So that was my first rendezvous with being a leader and deciding what leadership style needed to be present at that moment. One time when the guys had been trying to fix a crane and they couldn't figure it out. And these were the cranes that deliver the missiles. So these were the important ones, really humongous cranes. So I go on board, and it wasn't 5 minutes, but about 36 hours later, I fixed the crane. And it had a missile on the hook at the time. Out of that tour of duty, I got capped to first class. So see, remember that Master Chief didn't want me in his engine room for the rating, but it all resulted in good benefit in the long run.